10 Silent Things Destroying Your Appearance. Stoicism. Stoic wisdom. Most people think appearance depends on genetics, skincare, or money. They buy products, they change outfits, they adjust lighting, yet they ignore the deeper cause. Your appearance reflects your nervous system, your habits, and your discipline. Marcus Aurelius never discussed fashion. He wrote about character, restraint, self-command, and responsibility. Those traits shape how a person looks. Stress tightens the face. Poor posture weakens presence. Excess dulls the skin. Neglect lowers standards. Over time, your inner state becomes visible. Appearance is not only symmetry, it is composure, it is posture, it is eye contact, it is energy. Stoicism builds internal order. Internal order produces external strength. This video breaks down 10 silent behaviors that slowly damage how you look. These are not cosmetic mistakes. They are behavioral patterns. Each one is controllable. If you value discipline, clarity, and practical self-improvement, subscribe to this channel. I focus on Stoic principles you can apply immediately. Now let us begin. 1. Chronic stress from trying to control everything. Many people live in constant tension because they try to control outcomes, opinions, and future events. This creates internal pressure that never switches off. You replay conversations. You predict problems. You attempt to manage how others see you. The mind stays in threat mode even when no immediate danger exists. Chronic stress elevates cortisol. Prolonged elevation affects multiple systems. Research links sustained cortisol exposure to collagen breakdown, increased inflammation, acne flare-ups, and earlier wrinkle formation. Elevated stress hormones also impair skin barrier function, which increases dryness and irritation. Blood flow prioritizes survival functions over repair. Visible recovery slows. Stress also disrupts sleep architecture. Even if you spend enough hours in bed, high cortisol reduces deep restorative phases. Reduced deep sleep limits growth hormone release, which supports tissue repair and muscle maintenance. Under-eye darkness becomes more pronounced. Skin tone looks uneven. Eyes appear fatigued. The nervous system remains in a low-grade fight-or-flight state. The jaw tightens. The brow furrows. Shoulders elevate slightly. Breathing becomes shallow and upper chest dominant. When this pattern repeats daily, it becomes your resting posture and resting face. Others perceive tension even when you say nothing. Trying to control everything also drains cognitive energy. Decision fatigue rises. Patience shortens. Irritability increases. These mental shifts amplify facial tension and vocal sharpness. Over time, constant vigilance shapes both your expression and your presence. Stoicism teaches control of response, not control of outcome. Marcus Aurelius wrote about focusing only on what depends on you. External events, other people's opinions, and future uncertainty sit outside your authority. When you accept this boundary, mental load decreases, muscular tension reduces, breathing slows. Regulate stress daily with deliberate practice. Use slow nasal breathing with extended exhales to lower physiological arousal. Train physically to discharge accumulated tension. Maintain consistent sleep timing. Limit unnecessary information intake that triggers comparison or anxiety. Ask yourself what is within your control in each situation. Act on that. Release the rest. A regulated nervous system produces a composed appearance. When internal pressure drops, your face softens. Posture stabilizes, and energy becomes steady rather than reactive. 2. Poor posture and physical collapse. Your spine communicates before you speak. Slouched posture compresses your frame. It reduces visible height and narrows your silhouette. A collapsed stance signals fatigue or disengagement. People register this in seconds. Forward head posture strains the neck and jaw. The head can shift several centimeters in front of the shoulders during prolonged sitting. This increases load on the cervical spine and tightens surrounding muscles. Rounded shoulders tighten the chest and restrict full breathing. Shallow breathing reduces oxygen exchange efficiency. Lower oxygen availability affects energy levels and skin tone over time. Studies show upright posture increases perceived confidence and authority immediately. Research in social psychology also links erect posture to higher self-reported confidence and improved mood state. Your physical alignment influences both how others see you and how you feel internally. Poor posture often develops from long hours sitting, weak posterior chain muscles, and limited mobility. It can also reflect avoidance patterns. When you withdraw mentally, your body follows. Stoicism trains endurance and engagement. Standing upright during discomfort reinforces resilience. Physical structure mirrors mental structure. Chronic collapse creates muscular imbalance. The chest shortens. The upper back weakens. The core disengages. This imbalance reduces movement efficiency and increases joint strain. Over time, this can affect gait and overall physical presence. Correct it deliberately. Keep ears aligned over shoulders. Keep shoulders stacked over hips when standing. Strengthen upper back muscles with rows and reverse fly movements. Train core stability with planks and controlled carries. Stretch the chest and hip flexors daily. Raise screens to eye level to reduce forward head drift. Reset alignment every hour when seated. Walk with measured pace. Let your arms swing naturally. Keep your chin parallel to the ground. Small adjustments repeated daily reshape posture gradually. When your body is structured, you look composed. Breathing deepens. Voice steadies. Eye level rises. Presence improves instantly. 3. Habitual negativity. Your dominant emotion becomes your resting expression. Frequent irritation, sarcasm, or pessimism creates repeated micro-expressions. Over time, muscles adapt. The face learns patterns through repetition. What begins as a reaction becomes your baseline. Neuromuscular research shows repeated facial patterns strengthen certain muscle groups. When frustration dominates, tension becomes default. Lips tighten, brows narrow, the jaw stays slightly clenched. The eyes lose softness. These patterns form even when you are silent. Others read this instantly. Negativity also activates the stress response at a low but steady level. Cortisol rises. Inflammation increases. Skin clarity declines when stress remains elevated. Blood flow shifts away from repair functions toward alertness. Energy drains faster. Chronic mental tension becomes visible fatigue. Your tone of voice changes as well. Sharp responses create distance. Complaints reduce warmth. Even if your appearance is well maintained, emotional sharpness weakens your presence. People respond to emotional signals before they process words. Stoicism trains interpretation. Events are neutral. Your judgment creates disturbance. When you assume insult or injustice in small matters, you rehearse anger. When you exaggerate inconvenience, you strengthen agitation. This repetition shapes both mind and face. Interrupt the pattern deliberately. Replace reactive thoughts with measured evaluation. Ask whether the situation truly threatens your values. Slow your breathing when irritation rises. Relax your jaw consciously. Soften your forehead. Maintain steady eye contact instead of tightening your gaze. Limit exposure to constant negative input. News overload and conflict-driven content reinforce pessimistic thinking. Choose information sources intentionally. Spend time with people who practice calm speech and balanced perspective. Emotional discipline requires repetition. Practice composure daily in small situations. Over months, your facial baseline shifts. Tension reduces. Expression becomes open. Calm faces attract trust. Agitated faces create distance. Choose steadiness. Your face will mirror the emotional habits you rehearse most for. Inconsistent sleep. Sleep is physical repair. During deep sleep, the body regulates hormones and repairs tissue. Collagen production increases. Inflammation decreases. Growth hormone supports muscle recovery and skin renewal. When sleep is stable, the body restores itself without effort from you. Research shows sleep-deprived individuals are rated as less healthy and less attractive after even short-term restriction. Dark circles deepen. Skin loses brightness. Eyes appear dull. Studies also show reduced alertness and slower facial responsiveness, which affects how engaged and energetic you look. Irregular sleep schedules confuse your circadian rhythm. Your body relies on consistent timing to regulate cortisol, melatonin, and insulin. When bedtime shifts daily, hormone cycles lose rhythm. Energy declines the next day. You move less. Reduced movement affects circulation and posture. Mood worsens, which changes facial tone and expression. Chronic sleep inconsistency increases cravings for high-sugar foods, which adds another layer of inflammation. Fatigue also reduces willpower. When tired, you make weaker decisions about food, screens, and activity. This compounds visible decline. Stoicism values discipline over comfort. Going to bed on time is not exciting, but it builds strength. Set a fixed sleep window. Reduce light exposure at least 1 hour before bed. Avoid heavy meals late at night. Keep your room dark and cool. Protect 7 to 9 hours consistently, not occasionally. Wake at the same time daily, even on weekends when possible. Expose yourself to natural light early in the morning to anchor your rhythm. Limit caffeine later in the day. Recovery shapes vitality. When sleep stabilizes, skin improves, posture strengthens, mood balances, and energy returns. Without recovery, no product compensates. Consistent sleep is foundational to visible health and strong presence. 5. Excessive screen exposure. Constant screen use disrupts both posture and sleep. Blue light exposure at night suppresses melatonin. Sleep quality drops. Recovery weakens. When deep sleep decreases, growth hormone release declines. Tissue repair slows. Under eye darkness and dull skin become more noticeable. Hours of downward gaze create forward head posture. The head shifts in front of the shoulders. Neck muscles strain. Upper back rounds. This alignment compresses the jawline and weakens overall presence. Eye strain narrows your expression. You squint more. Your forehead tightens without awareness. Excessive scrolling fragments attention. Rapid content shifts train your brain to expect constant stimulation. This reduces focus tolerance. When attention weakens, mental fatigue rises. Fatigue reflects in slower actions and flat expression. Restlessness shows in your eyes and gestures. Screen overuse also reduces outdoor exposure. Natural light regulates circadian rhythm. Time outside improves mood and energy stability. When most of your day happens indoors in artificial light, your body receives fewer environmental cues that support recovery. Stoicism teaches intention with time. Marcus Aurelius guarded his attention carefully. You should treat your focus as limited capital. Every unnecessary scroll drains it. Limit screens at least 1 hour before sleep. Remove devices from your bed area. Use fixed windows for social media instead of constant access. Take movement breaks every hour to reset posture. Raise screens to eye level to reduce neck strain. Spend time outdoors daily. Technology is a tool. It becomes harmful when it dictates your rhythm. Regain control over your usage. When your attention stabilizes and your sleep improves, your appearance reflects that stability. 6. Uncontrolled anger. Anger contracts the face. Jaw tightens. Brow lowers. Voice sharpens. Blood pressure rises. The body shifts into threat mode. Muscles prepare for confrontation. Breathing becomes shallow. This reaction is useful in real danger, but destructive when repeated daily over minor triggers. Repeated anger accelerates stress hormone release. Elevated cortisol and adrenaline keep the nervous system activated. Chronic activation contributes to inflammation and tension-related facial lines. Over time, your resting expression may appear severe even when you feel neutral. Intensity without control feels unstable to others. People sense volatility quickly. Anger also alters perception. When you react impulsively, you narrow your thinking. You see disrespect where there may be misunderstanding. You assume hostility instead of error. This constant defensive posture keeps your body rigid. Stoicism confronts ego directly. People act from their own level of knowledge and character. Expect imperfection. Prepare for inconvenience. When you expect friction, you are less shocked by it. Reduced shock means reduced reaction. Pause before responding. Create a gap between stimulus and action. Slow breathing lowers physiological arousal. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale slowly. Relax your shoulders and jaw deliberately. This physical reset signals safety to the body. Train patience intentionally. Place yourself in minor frustrating situations and practice calm response. Let small delays pass without complaint. The goal is not suppression. The goal is mastery. Calm authority projects strength. Controlled tone and steady eye contact command more respect than raised volume. Reactivity signals lack of control. Choose composure over intensity. Over time, your face reflects steadiness instead of tension. 7. Sedentary living. Movement drives circulation. Circulation supports skin oxygenation and nutrient delivery. Without movement, energy drops. When blood flow slows, nutrients and oxygen reach tissues less efficiently. Skin can appear dull. Muscles lose tone. You feel heavier even without major weight gain. Sedentary habits reduce muscle tone and weaken structural support. The glutes weaken. The core relaxes. The upper back rounds. Over time, This affects how you stand and how clothes fit. Hormonal balance can shift with prolonged inactivity. Insulin sensitivity decreases. Inflammation markers may rise. Mood declines as physical activity drops. Research shows regular exercise reduces systemic inflammation and improves sleep quality. Better sleep improves tissue repair and hormone regulation. Exercise also increases endorphins and supports stable dopamine levels, which improve mood and motivation. People who train consistently are often rated as more energetic and confident because their posture and movement signal vitality. Sedentary living also affects facial expression. Low energy leads to slower gestures and reduced eye brightness. When your body feels stagnant, your presence reflects that stagnation. Stoicism values strength as preparation for difficulty. Physical training builds endurance and resilience. When you challenge your body voluntarily, your tolerance for discomfort improves. That tolerance supports discipline in other areas. Walk daily. Lift weights several times per week. Include resistance training to preserve muscle mass. Stretch tight muscles, especially hips and chest. Break long sitting periods with short movement breaks every hour. Stand during calls when possible. Consistency matters more than intensity. 10,000 steps daily and structured strength training create visible change over months. Muscle tone improves posture. Improved posture enhances presence. Vitality cannot be purchased. It must be trained. When your body moves regularly, your appearance reflects strength, energy, and control. 8. Overindulgence. Excess food, alcohol, and stimulation create inflammation. High sugar intake accelerates glycation, which damages collagen. Alcohol dehydrates and disrupts sleep. Late nights increase cortisol and reduce growth hormone release, which weakens recovery. Over time, puffiness increases. Skin loses firmness. Energy declines. Blood sugar spikes followed by crashes reduce stable focus. Chronic excess often leads to weight gain, which alters posture, facial definition, and movement quality. Even mild bloating changes how clothes fit and how confident you feel wearing them. Overindulgence also weakens impulse control. When you constantly give in to cravings, you reinforce short-term reward seeking. That pattern spreads beyond food or alcohol. It affects spending, screen time, and emotional reactions. Loss of control in one area often spreads into others. Stoicism values moderation. Pleasure is acceptable. Dependence is weakness. Marcus Aurelius lived with access to luxury, yet he trained himself not to rely on comfort. The goal is not deprivation. The goal is control. Eat to fuel. Prioritize whole foods. Maintain stable meal timing. Limit alcohol intentionally instead of casually. Set boundaries around entertainment and late nights. Avoid constant stimulation from noise, sugar, and scrolling. Moderation stabilizes hormones. Stable hormones improve sleep, skin clarity, and energy. Clear energy improves posture and presence. Your face looks lighter when your body is not overloaded. Excess feels harmless in the moment. Its cost appears gradually. Discipline in small daily choices prevents visible decline later. Moderation produces clarity. Excess produces decline. Control your intake and your appearance will reflect that control. 9. Poor grooming standards. Neglect signals low discipline. Wrinkled clothes, unkempt hair, inconsistent hygiene. These details shape perception immediately. People form impressions within seconds. Studies in social psychology show first impressions rely heavily on visible cues such as cleanliness, fit, and posture. Once formed, those impressions are hard to reverse. Clean presentation requires little money. It requires attention. Trim hair regularly. Maintain oral hygiene. Keep nails clean. Wear fitted, clean clothing. Stand straight. Replace worn-out items instead of stretching them beyond use. Wash and iron clothes when needed. These are basic standards, not luxury upgrades. Grooming affects more than how others see you. It affects how you see yourself. When you look put together, you behave with more control. Your speech becomes firmer. Your posture improves. You move with more certainty. Order on the outside reinforces order on the inside. Stoicism emphasizes self-command. Marcus Aurelius wrote about discipline in action and character. Grooming is a visible form of discipline. It shows that you manage details instead of ignoring them. Disorder in small things often reflects disorder in larger habits. Neglect usually begins gradually. You skip one haircut. You delay replacing worn shoes. You ignore minor stains. Over time, these small lapses accumulate. The overall impression weakens. Set simple rules. Weekly grooming check. Clean shoes. Neutral, well-fitted clothes. Consistent hygiene routine morning and night. Keep it structured and repeatable. Small standards compound into strong presence. When details are handled, your appearance communicates reliability. Reliability builds respect. Respect strengthens opportunity. 10. Lack of self-respect. All external decline begins internally. When you break promises to yourself, confidence drops. That drop changes posture, tone, and eye contact. You hesitate more. You second-guess simple decisions. Your movements lose certainty. Others notice it even if they cannot explain it. Self-respect grows from consistent action. Keep commitments. Speak truthfully. Finish tasks. Maintain routines. These actions build internal evidence. Evidence builds confidence. Confidence changes how you stand, how you walk, and how long you hold eye contact. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes appearance. If you see yourself as unreliable, your body reflects it. If you see yourself as disciplined, your posture strengthens. Your tone becomes steady. Your pace becomes controlled. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily to act worthy of his position. He focused on duty, not mood. You should do the same. Act according to standards, not feelings. Feelings fluctuate. Standards remain. When you tolerate laziness, poor grooming, or weak effort, you train your mind to accept less. Acceptance lowers intensity. Lower intensity reduces presence. Over time, you look less sharp, less engaged, less alive. Self-respect requires boundaries. Say no when necessary. Avoid environments that weaken your discipline. Protect your time. Protect your health. These decisions reinforce that you value yourself. There is also a neurological effect. When you complete difficult tasks, dopamine regulation improves. Motivation stabilizes. Stable motivation produces consistent behavior. Consistency strengthens identity. You cannot fake self-respect. It shows in small details. Clean shoes. Direct speech. Controlled reactions. Structured routines. Raise your standards quietly. Follow through daily. When your inner discipline strengthens, your outer image aligns automatically. Appearance erodes through habits, not age alone. Stress, neglect, excess, inconsistency. Each one leaves a mark. Stoicism returns control to you. Regulate your mind. Structure your body. Moderate your habits. Protect your standards. If this message strengthened your thinking, subscribe to the channel. More practical Stoic lessons are coming. Apply them daily. Let your discipline show in how you think, how you stand, and how you present yourself.